Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for making your Monday night a part of my Monday night and vice versa. It's 6 o'clock Pacific here on the west coast of British Columbia in this great nation of Canada. How are you tonight? My name is Matthew. I'm your host. Great show. Great show tonight. Another great show tomorrow night. No MattTv Wednesday night. I will not be home Wednesday night, so there will not be a MattTv Wednesday night, but that's okay. A show Thursday night for sure, and I'm still on the fence as what I want to do for the MattTv for Canada Day. I have a couple of thoughts on how I want to approach that. We'll get to that in a few moments. How are you? Just let me refresh my Facebook page. Woo! My brother-in-law, Joe Vespaziani, just walked in the door, so he's chilling out in the green room. We're going to bring him in here in like 15-20 minutes. Once I get through the regular stuff. The huge, as they say. Okay, just let me pull my Facebook page down here so I can see the comments. Okay, how is everyone? How is everyone? Lots of thumbs up. How about this? Let's just look at this for a second. Just look at this. I said that the beginning of Monday's show, my Canadian flag would once again be the backdrop. I should take a before and after picture of what it looked like. When it left here in early June, there was, I believe, 55 signatures on it. Right now, I haven't counted them yet. As you can see, I have to figure out how I'm going to block this flag off because I really want to, I want to count. A, I want to count and see how many signatures are on there. And B, I want to find out who these people are. Some of the, I was looking at, and you got to remember, this was at the Superstore in Woodstock, New Brunswick for a couple of Saturdays. And then it was at a house party on St. John Street in the Woodstock area. This was at a house party with Dave Keenan, and this received a lot of signatures from that party as well. And feel free to leave comments. People are liking the show. Lots of people in here live right now, but feel free to leave comments. It's much easier for me to get the conversation started if we have some interaction. I'm pretty sure we should be okay for comments here. I don't see any glitches in the matrix. No glitches in the matrix. So just let me talk quickly about this flag. Our flag. One of the names that really sticks out for me is James. It looks like James was connecting the dots with the J, the A, the M, the E, and even the S. So whoever James is, thank you for signing my flag, and I love how you had to connect the dots. So I'm thinking James was probably at the house party, and he signed it much later on in the evening after tipping back a few wobbly pops. So right now I'm just looking at my laptop computer so I can see the comments, see what's going on here. Yes, Carolyn, I am very happy, very thrilled to have this behind me as well. There is this here. This is, now I don't know who did it. I'm sure there is a great story behind the watermark on this flag. I have no idea what happened. Well, someone spilled something on the flag. Now the old me would have flipped my lid, but I'm 44. The new me was like, that probably has an interesting story, which is exactly what I said to Dave Keenan when I picked it up on Sunday. And we'll get into that in a bit. But anyway, glad this is back. Sometime this week, before the week's show ends on Friday, I will definitely have a very accurate number of signatures that are on the Canadian flag. So if your name is up here, thank you so much for signing the Canadian flag. Greatly appreciated. And there's still a few more names to get on there. Co-workers, friends of mine out here on the West Coast. How's everyone doing? Everyone have a good Monday? Did everyone ease back into the work week? I know I did. Another beautiful day here on the south coast of British Columbia. Saturday was the beginning of a heat wave here on the south coast. I work outside every day. So when Saturday rolled around and it was extremely hot, I don't think I ventured outside very much on Saturday. I know I had coworkers who worked on Saturday. They worked like a ridiculous 10 hours on Saturday, which was probably one of the hottest days of the year, and they're out working in it. Me, chose not to and just decided to stay out of the heat. The summer is long. The summer is long. The summer is just getting started. Don't burn yourself out early by thinking you have to be in the sun all the time. But if you have the opposite way of thinking, if you're going to be in the sun all the time, you love the sun, make sure you're protected. Put on the sunscreen, make sure you have the right SPF. Sometimes I sound like a teacher. I'm like a living, walking PSA. But it's just common sense. Yes? It's just common sense. Oh. And drink lots of water. If anyone wants to know what this jersey is, this is from the CFL Saskatchewan Roughriders. Ron Lancaster, his name and number retired in Regina. So this was a gift, which reminds me. Head is warning, back of my legs are feeling the burn. Yeah, definitely. You have to have sunscreen. The backs of your legs, if you're wearing sandals, a lot of people don't put sunscreen on the tops of their feet when they wear sandals. They get home at the end of the day and the top of their feet look like lobsters. Not good. Hello, Nick. Okay, let's get right into the last 24, brought to you by Nick. And for those that are new to the show, all this is simply a recap of what has happened in my life since the last time I was here in front of the camera on MattTv on Facebook Live. Watched The Hangover and The Hangover 2 over the weekend with Kaya Moon. I really love Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, and Ed Helms. The chemistry those three individuals have in all of those movies is quite something. And I really, Zach Galifianakis is just, his character in the movie is so dense. He's just so dense of a character. But you absolutely love him. So anyway, that was a little sliver of my weekend, just hanging out with Kaya Moon, watching Hangover 1 and 2. How did you like those movies? I'm glad they stopped at, I think they did 3, maybe 4. Glad it's over. I was just talking about the heat wave here on Saturday. For me, it was an inside day on Saturday. Is that a normal thing to do after 3 months of winter, another 3 of spring, and it's the first weekend of summer? A heat wave rolls into the south coast of British Columbia. What do? I stay inside. Can you hear that helicopter? There is a really low helicopter flying over the house here in British Columbia. If you could pick that up on the microphone, let me know. Because I'm testing out the equipment, right? So I just got a bunch of notes here in front of me. We're just moving along through the last 24, brought to you by Nick. I just want to say a happy birthday to Michelle Nowlin. Michelle Nowlin having a birthday today. I'm going to say Michelle has to be, is it okay? Is it okay to say a lady's age live? When in doubt, leave it out. That's the one of the many things I learned in radio. When in doubt, leave it out. And I think it would just be, I'm not going to throw that number out there for Michelle, but Michelle Nowlin, happy birthday. Hope it was a great day in your slice of the world. And Jeff McIntosh having a birthday today. So happy birthday to Michelle and Jeff. Hope you both had a great day. Okay, I just wanted to throw those in there before I forgot, even though I had it written down on a cue card right in front of me. Moving right along, 8 minutes after 6 o'clock on this 26th day of June, 2017. My name is Matthew, and if you don't know, this is MattTv. We do it Facebook Live Monday through Friday, when possible, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, 10 Atlantic, 10:30 in Newfoundland. Yes, I have an audience in Newfoundland. Love it so much. So wherever you are watching tonight, whether you're watching me right now live or watching this at a later date at your convenience, thank you so much. If you like what you see and hear, please share. Please share. So Sunday, this was a quick trip into the city. So just throwing the question out there: what is the quickest trip you've ever made? Say minimum 100K, because that's what our trip was. Return trip. Kaya Moon and I left here, White Rock, about noon on Sunday. Drove the most direct route that we could into Dave Keenan's, picked up the flag and made a slight detour. Moon stopped to see one of her friends, but we were back here, back in the home at like 20 to 3. So we were gone less than 3 hours, traveled 100K. So my question to you, because I like to make things relatable, what's the quickest turnaround time for you to go get something really quick? Like, going to retrieve a flag, simply picking up a flag, but driving 100 kilometers round trip and doing it in 2.5 hours. Is that something that you would do? I know I'm talking extremely fast tonight, but that's okay. Hello, Amber. How are you? Thanks for hosting the flag at your house while it was home. Greatly appreciated. I was inquiring about this watermark, but I'll just make up my own story. But if you know, like honestly, the fact that this flag was back and forth across the country and handled by so many people, and this is the only thing that happened to it, that's unbelievable. So if you have any idea what happened to that, I'm thinking someone just spilled a drink on it or something, but it's got to have a story, right? Spillage, that's what I was going to ask you. Spillage, so that's a story of spillage here. Do you have a story? Do you have a memory where you completely wiped out and you spilled a large quantity of whatever? Doesn't matter. It can be a liquid, it can be solid, but have you ever bailed or failed and dropped, or your spillage was quite something? It was something to behold. I've gone for a coffee. Okay, you're gonna have to bring me up to speed as to what you're referencing. 3 minutes tops. Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying now. So where you live, Wayne, you've gone from your place to the Timmy's just up the road in 3 minutes. Well, okay. Really? Okay. Well, that's a pretty quick trip. That is a pretty quick trip. Anyway, yeah, it was really fun retrieving this. Beautiful day yesterday. A beautiful day just to drive into the city. Quickly grab this but like I said, the one that really gets me so far is James. James needed to connect the dots to put his name together. I really want to meet James. So if anyone know who James is, please have him call the show. That would be great. And if anyone wants to call the show, the phone number is 604-202-5491. It's open phone, open call-ins all week long. We just really want to celebrate Canada, which is why this is up here, which is why this Canadian flag is embroidered on this CFL jersey. It doesn't get any more Canadian than the CFL. So all this week it's Canada. We're just going to celebrate this great nation. And I threw this out yesterday morning. I don't know if you saw the program yesterday morning, but I want to keep the number 150. Keep the number 150 in your mind all week long. And what the challenge was this morning, I think I threw this up on a post first thing this morning. My challenge to you for the rest of the week, and I started 2 days ago, what can you do every day? What repetitive task can you do every day 150 times? Every day, just right up to Canada Day, which is Saturday. For me, it's push-ups. So far today, I've done 100 push-ups. I did 50 this morning before I went to work. I've done another 50 since I got here in front of the camera. So before I go to bed, I'll do another 50 push-ups, and that'll bring me to 150. When you think about it, when you break it down like that, 150 isn't really that much. Anyone who's ever done Taekwondo or karate in your training, what's the most push-ups you've done at one time? Anyone who's ever been in the military, done martial arts, I've only heard stories, but I've heard you can do a ridiculous amount of push-ups, like on your knuckles. David and Andrew Craig, those two guys there come to mind as back in the day when they were their black belts and stuff, could probably just do a ton of push-ups. So this is just light and bubbly stuff. I'm just throwing it out there. It's Monday. Nothing too serious here on this channel, on this show. Smoothing myself. Okay, so I just threw some questions out there, and I'm just reading a Nick's. Oh, so you you spilled the drink all over yourself, and you just said, screw it, I'm going to turn around and go back in and get another one. That takes guts, but it's a smoothie. It's a smoothie. I know why you would do that. I don't know if I would have done the same thing, but last week tonight with John Oliver, he is being sued. You might want to check that out if you like John Oliver. He's on HBO Sunday nights. The last week tonight with John Oliver. Very interesting, very entertaining. I want to say congratulations to Weston Topazzini, his supervisor, Randy. It's his son. And this weekend, it's funny because Weston took the first aid course over the weekend. I think he must have a standard first aid. It's a 2-day course. Anyone that was in a first aid course, anyone who had to do something extracurricular this weekend outside of your normal work, where you had to give up a Saturday and a Sunday, A, good on you for doing so. B, it would be really bad if those 2 days were like the only 2 days of sun that you had in the past week. Unfortunately, that's not what happened out here with Weston. He was in class Saturday, Sunday, 2 of the hottest days of the year so far, and he's inside getting first aid. But he got his ticket. So if anyone put themselves in a position this weekend where they can help other people, whether it's a first aid ticket or volunteering, good on you. Love you for doing it. Just a quick question out there to all the guys that have beards. When the heat does come in the summer, at what point do you second guess having a beard? At what point in the summer do you second guess having a beard? Because I was over at a family supper yesterday, and my niece's husband, Derek, head shaved, big beard. I was calling him Derek Galifianakis, so you can just imagine what he looks like. And he was seriously considering shaving off his beard. It would take me forever to grow a beard, so that never even comes into the conversation with me. Again, if you want to call the show anytime this week, if you want to call the show right now, the phone line is open. Area code 604-202-5491. I got a private message over the weekend from Jeff Bull, who was pretty excited about what his son had accomplished. And I want to say I know it was in a sporting event. It's probably up on Jeff Bull's Facebook page. I'm sure it is. He's a very proud father. He shared it with me. So I just wanted to mention that, Jeff, which made me think. This is the time of year when parents are very excited. Their children have graduated high school. Some of them have received scholarships and are moving on to post-secondary education. So I wanted to give the opportunity this week to parents. You can either put comments up here or you can call the show and let people know how proud you are of your kids. So just throwing it out there. Again, the number is 604-202-5491. Wayne shaved mine for graduation. Wayne Mason shaving his beard for grade 8 formal. See, that's so I'm going to assume, Carrie, you have a beard. Yeah, I guess if you're used to it. I guess if you're used to it, it's facial hair. For some, it's not a big deal, I guess. I couldn't. I just can't grow a beard. I look silly. Anyway, flag spillage. Okay, we got some of the flag spillage. Nick told her story about spilling a smoothie. What's my biggest? I think that when it comes to spillage, and again, it doesn't have to necessarily be a liquid or whatever. Years ago, I was unloading a pallet of Allen block stones for an Allen block wall. So a super heavy pallet. I'm in a Bobcat with forks. Me and my supervisor, should have taken off the first layer of blocks. Just take off 6 or 7 blocks just to make it that much lighter. We did not. I wasn't really comfortable unloading it. And the Bobcat just got all jerky, and the next thing you know, the pallet is doing this, and bricks are breaking all over the place. That was not a good scene. But I didn't damage any vehicles. I mean, I just broke a few blocks, but that was my spillage. I'm going back to school. You're going back to school? Yes. I think you were talking about that the other day. Maybe not. I know one of the parents was pretty happy that their kid was receiving a scholarship. So Sarah Sampson going back to school too. Wow, that's awesome. You never stop learning. You never stop learning. Kaya Moon got a new haircut. Really cool. She looks like the female character in Stranger Things. Remember the big show that was on here a few months ago, Stranger Things? That's what she looks like. She looks like the girl with her new haircut. Awesome stuff. Oh, and this is the last thing. Again, this is just a summary of things that have happened in my life in the last, 23 hours, literally the last 23 hours. And a few things, and always some extra things because of the weekend. This is the last thing. It's 20 after 6. This is what happened to me on the way home today. And I don't understand this man's, what his intentions were. I'm in a company truck. I'm on my way home. I'm southbound on King George. The intersection is 88th Ave. We now have a green light. The individual in front of me, for whatever reason, is braking through the intersection as we have a green light. I do not honk the horn at him, but I'm in a much larger vehicle than he is. But I don't honk the horn at this individual. I just make the gesture of, actually, I think he was reading our lips, because I was talking to my coworker, like, what is this guy doing? Like, come on, I was making the gesture, let's go through the intersection, we have a green light. This gentleman, he rolled down his window, stuck his hand out, and gave me the finger. So this gentleman that I did not know, like I said, I didn't honk the horn at this individual. He was braking, going through a green light. I was just curious. He stared at me so much in a side mirror that eventually I had to go like this. Hey, dude, look at the road. Look at the road, man. Anyway, so that's how my day ended, with a complete stranger giving me the finger. 21 minutes after 6 o'clock. That's the last 24 brought to you by Nick. We're quickly going to get into, in about 5 minutes, Joe's off camera stretching, so he's going to come in here pretty soon. This is Wayne the Great product plug. Actually, after this soundbite, Joe, I'll bring you in. So let's get right into Wayne the Great product plug. You know how this works. This is out of the original packaging. The last couple of times I've actually been shaking what this product is off camera, and you're still guessing it. I have no idea how I'm going to. Again, out of the original packaging, any idea what that is? I'll give you a quick glance at it. That's all you get. And there's a bonus. There's a bonus one. I was kind of scrambling around tonight for this, so the bonus product plug came out of the fridge. So you can only imagine what that is. It's edible. They're both edible. And we all know who the real winner is. It's this guy right here. Yes, Wayne the Great. Okay, so think about that. I'll just show it to you again because there is the delay. So while you think about that, we're going to get right into to Toby's Edmundston weather. The weather tonight in the Edmundston area, Edmundston, New Brunswick. A few clouds tonight, low down to 8 degrees. Tomorrow, the 27th, a few showers. What is it with showers and the Maritimes? Mother Nature's not getting that memo. Brutal. Lots of, let me see, we got sunshine, we got a symbol for rain, and a symbol for lightning. So enjoy your day tomorrow in Edmundston. 20 degrees, chance of showers for Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud for Thursday, and then right back into showers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boo! Yes, the famous boo has come out. Taffy. No, it's not taffy, Wayne. It's a hard candy. It's a hard candy. Hard candy. Okay, that's Toby's Edmundston weather. And my brother-in-law, Joe Vespaziani, is going to join me here in a couple of seconds. We'll talk for a bit. Actually, maybe we'll just, you can hang out when he talks about some of the stories. Because we're going to talk about the 2017 Hockey Hall of Fame inductees. We're going to talk about BC chefs, Aretha Franklin, and natural remedies. So maybe Joe can hang out for that. But before we bring him in here, I'm just going to go back to my Facebook page so I can see if anyone's guessing. No, they're not Werthers. It is, it's a Mentos. It's a flavored Mentos. So I just ended that game real quick. It's a flavored Mentos. And anyone know what this is? Anyone know what that is? That's pretty simple. Nick, how are you, my friend? Illinois Nick. Nick, if you look real close, I have retired the Canadian sweater. It's right here, just like I said I would. I don't know if I could get any more Canadian in here. That's perfect. I got like a hornet's nest. Worked out a pretty good agreement with them. Okay, yes, it's an eggplant, yes. Wayne has guessed flavored Mentos after I told him it was flavored Mentos. Okay, yes, it's an eggplant. Okay, cool, everyone. Okay, Joe's going to come in here in a second. But I think for the rest of the week, the soundbite is going to be something we should listen to once a day. Let's go back to our elementary school days. Remember that in grades 1 through 5? That's how we started our day off, with fluoride and the national anthem. And mini sips and cups of milk at lunch. Okay, I'm going to fire this up here. So this is William's wacky soundbite of the night. I don't seem to get in trouble for it when I upload it, so we're going to play it again, and we're going to play it every night this week. So enjoy it. We'll be right back with my brother-in-law, Joe. Hang tight. Alrighty. No one's ever going to get sick of that. Ever. Okay, no slow internet, I swear. Okay, lots of Canadian flags. Thank you for, okay, looking at the delay. Here we are right here. Come on in here, Joe.
Alright.
I just want to bring in my brother-in-law, Joe Vespaziani. I know I've talked about you before. Everyone, this is Joe. Joe, this is everyone.
On the,
yeah, we got people listening in from Alberta. Nick is in Florida. We got a guy in Illinois.
Nice.
But the majority of the audience is their family and friends from back home. So
nice. I put a little post out that we were doing this, so hopefully some people will care. Thank you, Chandler.
yeah. Sorry, babe. I already had one out here. Sorry. Well, the first thing, I got like a bunch of stuff here. Sorry. So for every guest that comes on MattTv, I'm going to get you to sign this. And we're just going to get you to do it right now. So just pick a spot. But what I want to do first, because we'll put something behind it. So just pick a spot.
I will pick.
I want to see where your dad signed it somewhere.
I can sign it right up around this jade.
Yeah, the Beck family's down here.
I can go up in this area.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want.
Unless there's a spot. Yeah, I'll go up over here.
All right. Now, the other trick is to get a hold of the fabric somewhat tight.
Okay. Is this working? I'll get the other one.
Grab the one right there.
Sharpie?
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I sign it.
Sweet.
If it was a check, you could cash it.
Good stuff. Thank you. I still have to. What would be your approach to count all the signatures on it? Because I do. I want to, like, forensically, you'd have to block it off, right?
Yeah, you would.
Like drop string on it and like square it off,
I think
like
so.
CSI style.
I think we have to grid.
This
Put the
here.
grid out there.
I just put it out there. This is James. Whoever James is, I want him to call me because he had to connect the dots.
Poor James.
Anyway, so what brings you up here? Well, yeah, your dad.
I came up. Yeah, Dad's in town till tomorrow, so I came up to see him, and then you said you had this going on, so I thought I'd come on here with you.
I don't know if anyone watching, because I just started MattTv like 3 months ago.
Okay.
So I want to tell people that you're a stand-up comic.
Yes.
You still do stand-up. But you do like the charity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of fundraising, so I don't hit the road really that much anymore at all. So.
But you did because I was just reading your bio today. 87.
It was when 87, 88 is when I started. So.
But I think it's interesting because people know that I attempted Yuck Yucks Comedy Club last May. I did it twice.
Okay.
But
you told me it wasn't so bad.
Right? It was. It was what it was for the first time, right?
Okay.
But you just tell people how you got started because it was kind of on a dare, wasn't it?
Well, you're my sister, your lovely lady, is one who did push me. But I went to I was in Calgary, so my dad was coaching in Calgary then, and I had always dreamed of doing stand-up. So even as a young kid, but living in Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm. But what was it? Who back there? Like, what inspired you to be the funny guy? Because we both know how important it is to be funny.
Yeah.
To make other people laugh. Let me clarify that. To make other people laugh.
You're right. I wasn't going to beat anybody up, so I had to make them laugh. I think my mom was sick at the time. We were in Boston. We used to take these trips every summer to Boston, and she couldn't go to this concert that my dad had tickets for. And my dad he took me, and it was to see David Brenner, who in 1976 was probably the best comic out there. I think in the States he was hitting his stride. So I watched. I think I was 11, and I thought it was the greatest job in the world. I don't remember the jokes really. I just remember laughing for 2 hours or whatever it was, and then it was in my head that wow, that's got to be the greatest job in the world. But I thought they made it all up. I didn't know that there was writing involved. I thought these guys just they tell you a story. Yeah, you're talking about today and the guy getting upset with you in the traffic. It's like that's what you do. You just on the way to Johnny's show, you come up with stuff, and he's going to ask. I had no idea that people wrote and crafted material. So now you're a kid, and you're dreaming about all this stuff, and then we left Nova Scotia when I was 14, and then we were in Winnipeg, and then I went through high school, and then back to Acadia for university, back in Nova Scotia, and then my dad was coaching Calgary, so I come out to Calgary.
But in that space was there any...
There was never any. I never performed. I hosted a...
but it was always bubbling.
It was always dreams.
Yeah,
you're always,
just kind of like me doing MattTv. It was always there, yes.
You always have this, I'm going to do this somehow, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And so
now you're in Calgary.
Now I'm in Calgary, and I'm working at the stadium. McMahon Stadium got reseat during the '88 Olympics. That's right. They had to reseat the stadium. They had to put nice seats in. This was a cluster because these poor people had been season ticket holders for like centuries, right? So it's in their family, and all of a sudden, here I am. I don't know, we got to reseat these people according to date and this and that. Okay, well, what they didn't tell me was some of these people had upgraded their seats, and so when they upgraded their seats, their new start date was like the past 30 years meant nothing, like it was in the computer. So there's a lot of people that had slowly been moving towards the 55-yard line, who, as we're reseating them, they're getting pushed way out to the ends again because they had just upgraded, which made them look like they... anyway.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm in the office doing this.
So that gave you
reseating the stadium. Well, I feel it, and I hear people just upset and coming in and tearing up their tickets. It was horrible. But I had to look up somebody's name, and it began with a Y. And so I'm looking through a phone book then, because none of that shit was around. So I'm flipping through a book, and then I see in bold letters, I see Yuck Yucks, and I knew that Yuck Yucks was a comedy club. So I wrote the number down, and I was going to call them to see, well, maybe they have a school, like maybe there's a place you go, because I knew that improv had kind of improv clubs where people would kind of learn how to do improv. So I thought, well, maybe they have stand-up school, like you go in and they kind of coach you. Yeah. So I called, and remember Angie, and I knew her, and she was great, and she said, you should probably come down to watch an open mic, because you get like 3 to 5 minutes. And she was very nice, and I was all sweaty on the phone, thinking...
sweaty on the phone.
I was like, what am I doing calling these... So anyway, I was writing material all week and getting all ready, and then I was going to back out of it, and of course...
Can you remember what you were... what was your original material?
The one I know was about one of them was about a lobster being from the East Coast, and how they say a lobster, like seafood, is brain food, and then I did a whole mime of a lobster getting caught in a trap, basically like how smart do you have to be. At the time it was just brilliant, cutting edge stuff, and so and I had the thumbs sold the bit. So I had all this stuff. That wasn't maybe that was my closer. I don't know. The 5 minutes felt like, but I wasn't going to go do it. I was going to back out. I don't need to, because I went and watched the week before, and the guy who started the show, who was the host.
You didn't go watch the week before?
I watched.
Okay.
And what I saw was the host came out. He was very funny and kind of personal, and he's kind of cool. And then I saw 8 people that weren't so funny. Like they were trying, but they weren't so funny. And then the last person did about a half hour, and they were very funny. And of course now I understand how the show works. But back then I thought, well, I'm looking at these people that didn't do so well, and they're they're okay. They're hanging out. Just like, they tried. This was the Blackfoot Inn in Calgary, and that's where Yuck Yucks was originally, I guess. And I thought, well, if they can do this, I mean, they're okay. I mean, worst case scenario.
Well, you give it a go, right?
Right.
That first time, you step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, because I had no...
Big time.
Yeah, because
you reconstruct.
It's not like, it's not like I was singing and then people go, Joe, you sing really well. You could probably do karaoke. It's not like that. It's like everybody... Like you're going out there and everybody knows. Oh, you think you're fun. Think you're funny. So what have you got? It's different than hanging out with your buddies.
Yes.
And making fun of them with all the inside stuff and being quick, because then you can be a quick wit and be funny with your buddies, but bringing that to strangers is different. You got to make them feel like your buddies. It's a whole cycle. But anyway, I was as we got closer, I got scared and I was like, I'm not doing this. And Jenny said to me. She said, you'll regret that. Someday you'll regret this if you don't even, no matter what happens, if you don't do this, you'll regret this. And so I went and I did it. And now I was supposed to be, I just went up and I was going to do my set, and this guy, I'll remember his name in a minute, Mike Longsborough. So he was like a kind of a personality in Calgary. And he had like a TV, he was on TV and stuff, and he had a radio show or something. But anyway, he was the host that night. But he found out that I was a coach's kid. So I told him I don't really want anything about my dad in this, even though my last name, people who know, most people called him Coach V because they didn't know how to say Vespaziani. So I said, I just kind of want to do this. Well, he made a big freaking deal about my dad. And at the time, they loved my dad because we were winning. And so I had the luxury of going out there and probably sucking, but yet the audience loved me because, oh, here's the coach's kid,
Yeah.
So I had that. And so my first experience on stage was a little bit, cushioned by an audience that was all of a sudden excited about seeing somebody that was, the son of somebody that they all liked, because the city really liked my dad at the time. So now I had the worst also. When they fired him, I didn't change my name either. So I go on stage and get booed immediately, which was always...
Wow.
Yeah. So I had to have a new opening line for that, which I'd walk out and I'd say, hey, one of us has to work. That's the place to say. But so I got both. I mean, I got the it's Coach V's kid, and then I go, oh, you suck,
Yeah.
So I got both. But that was it. That was going to open mic, and then the owner, Bill Robinson, a wonderful man. He owned that Yuck Yucks, and he came up to me, and I thought it was some creepy old dude with a rum and coke coming towards me out in the dark. Is this what stand-up's all about? I was hoping for a blonde with fake boobs, but I got the old guy. You got to start somewhere. It's open mic, and he comes up and he says. He goes, oh, like this, but he didn't have a comedian yet that he had totally seen their first time on stage and then totally was gonna like be his guy. All these other comedians were from other stuff and they just used his club. Well, he sees a kid come out for the first time on stage, and it's on his stage, never done anything before, and then so now I'm his guy, and he says,
how did that make you feel?
Well, I felt kind of special because he was like, anytime you want stage time, I'll give it to you. And see, and anybody who's done comedy knows that it's hard to get stage time in the actual clubs on open mic nights because there's usually just a long list of people. But in Calgary, not as many. So I was getting Wednesday night and then guest spots on Thursdays, and then he paid me like $15 one night to do a set on a Friday, which I thought, this is unbelievable. I got 15 Canadian for doing a set. Are you kidding me? You're going to pay me to do this for free?
Well, yeah. But that's got to be, you're going from, your first night to being approached by this individual where now you're doing, you're working constantly now. You're like,
yeah, I'm getting a couple of nights a week.
You think that doesn't, like, now you have to take it more seriously because now you got to start writing a lot of material.
Well, funny you said. This is the other thing I learned. I thought, well, there goes that set list. So I started writing a whole new 5 minutes for the next one. So I start doing different material each time. I'm sorry, the showrunner came in.
Yeah.
I start writing different material, and the other comics like, what do you do? Like, why do you keep writing? You're always writing new stuff. And I go, and then I started watching them more, and I'm like, they're doing the same. They're doing the same stuff every week, and they're tweaking it a little bit. They go, no, you can work. You can work on material and get it. And then I was like, oh, that feels weird. It felt weird to me. But then again, I felt weird because I was hanging out with, these comedians became my friends, and cohorts, and it's like I don't want them to hear the same stuff all the time. So I was always changing it up.
Yeah.
Whereas they were,
but
okay
they were
with
thinking
it.
the other way.
They were like, no, I need to get my tight five, and which is nothing wrong with that. I just mentally, it was weird for me to say the same stuff over and over again. So
where do you draw your material from now? Like entertainment world, political world.
Absolutely not. No, it's so funny. I've kind of unplugged from a lot of mainstream stuff, and in the sense that I'm busy, and I don't like I watch Game of Thrones, but I make but it's not like I like
coming
sports.
Back July 16th,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited, but I like sports. So the hockey playoffs, forget about it.
Yeah,
I love all that. But as far as like even like what the Kardashians are doing or whoever the new, like I don't even know half the stuff that's going on because I don't care about what's going on with them. And what I find that I write about now is just about, like you talking about your day, I'm talking about me plodding through and stuff that I find absurd and maybe things that I misunderstood. But that's because I'll never forget it because it happened to me, and I've finally found a way to weave these stories and have enough funny in them to where it's just everyday stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not heavy political, not heavy anything like that.
Because Jen has said that your style is a lot like you're a great storyteller. Like you can weave in 3 or 4 different stories into one story where it all makes sense, but then you'll tie it up in a nice little bow at the end, right? So I would say, obviously your material has to change depending on whether it's for a corporate gig or a fundraiser or what do you find is what's more challenging as a comic, to write clean material or just dropping F-bombs and just being vulgar? Because I was told if you have clean material,
well, you can work more.
You work more.
Yeah, you can work. Okay, you can work more. You have more options where you're going to work. I know guys that they cuss a little bit and they're really hilarious and they're going to work. They're not going to not work. They just may not be able to do some of the gigs that I'm able to do, but then again, I'm not getting calls to do some of the big gigs they're doing because they, to me, it's if they're funny to you, if you really, like people loved Dice Clay back in the nursery rhyme, whatever days. I didn't quite get it. I thought, well, that's cool. He's selling out Madison Square Garden, and a lot of comics were like, oh, he's so stupid. He's the worst. He's this and that. And I remember even as a young comic thinking, well, people like him. Like he's got a crowd, so I don't know why everybody's shitting on him. I mean, it may not be my cup of tea, but I'm not out, listening to every bit of music out there. There's some genres maybe I'm not as into, but there's people that love it.
Yeah.
So I don't crap on that,
Well, we have the people in the society who, even if they don't like it, they will get involved enough where they can put their opinion in and then move on to something else.
Well, you know what? A great example.
Trolling.
Exactly. Before we even had that, I was in the bathroom at the comedy club in Calgary. So it's my home club, and I remember there was a comedian from Seattle. And she came up, and she was doing the middle spot in the show. So on the real shows, you had in Canada, you actually had the MC who was usually really, really good. And then they would have sometimes a guest set, like me when I was starting out, I was doing guest sets. And then they would have a middle act who's doing about 25 minutes maybe. And then they would have a headliner. But that host was always quick and funny and really could work the crowd. And those guys were amazing. Different in the States. In the States, it was like, lowest guy in the totem pole, you're the host. Next guy up, you're the middle. Next guy is a headline. So a lot of times in the States, people were like, oh, the first 2 guys kind of suck. But the last guy was really funny. So even if you come in and you're the middle guy and you're half funny, they'd go ape shit because it was like, wow, we're used to the guy sucking in the middle. But in Canada, they're like, no, the host sets the tone. Canada was right. Like the host sets the tone, right?
Yeah.
So.
But the host has got to be funny too.
Yeah,
right?
He's got to be able to deal with the stuff. The checks are coming. He's got to deal with all that stuff and present the comics. That's how it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's his show. I always thought in Canada it was like, that's the host show, Yeah. And we have there's amazing comics in Canada that I got to, learn from and watch.
Yeah.
But I'm going to the bathroom. I had a horrible set because this lady from Seattle said to me, she had seen me at the open mic, and then because she was closing the open mic, because that's what the middle act did. They closed Wednesday night, so they were the headliner, and then the rest of the weekend they were in the middle. Mm-hmm. Well, she's from Seattle, and I said, oh, I thought you were really funny. And she just looked at me, and she says, what are you doing here? Like, kind of like, and I said, oh, they're letting me do a guest set. So I was really excited. I mean, I was excited. Mm-hmm. This was my first time doing a set on a regular night, you know. Mm-hmm. I was so freaking pumped. And she just looked at me, she goes, they're going to let you do 15 minutes? And she just shook her head. And so I'm right behind the curtain. Like, the curtain's, you know, I'm mm-hmm. behind the curtain, and I'm just looking.
Those are the last words she's saying to you as they open the curtain?
She's not the host. She's just back there getting a drink, and she shits on me, and then she walks away.
She opens up the fire door and walks away.
Just walks away, and I'm sitting there, the curtain's there, and I hear the host, please welcome. So I walk out, and I just eat it for, like, you know, it is harsh. It is like nothing, and I'm just rattled. I just remember being silent. I remember the silence.
How many people in the audience?
There, you know, it was maybe a half to three, you know, a third full. I mean, it was, you know, there had to be there's a good 70 people, I would say, maybe 50, 70. And it's uncomfortable. And so I mean, I just wanted to go to each table and apologize to each table individually. So I go back and I leave, and my head's swimming. What did I just do? And I go back around. They can't see me. I'm in the hallway. I come out, and, you know, I'm in the back room where the sound is, and then I'm gonna go to the restroom. And all the comics, it's funny because they like me. We're friends, and you can tell they're full of shit because they're like, oh, hey, you know, good job. No, not a good job. Either you didn't see it, or you don't know what to say. So even I knew. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm waiting. There's two urinals, and there's two dudes just standing there, and I'm just waiting, and they're talking, and the one guy's like, man, that last guy sucked. He's going on about how bad I suck. And I'm right behind him, and I'm like, oh, damn, you know, I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm like, jeez. Where were you last week? But it was really funny, you know. So I'm sitting there waiting, and then his buddy who was next to him was nicer. He was like, you know, he didn't say anything, really. And then he finished it. He turns, and he sees me, and he goes, oh, and there he is. That's all he says, and there he is. And I just kind of nodded, you know. And then the big mouth guy didn't say anything. I mean, as soon as he sees me, he could have said, you know, I just said, yeah, I heard you. But he didn't say anything. He just zips up and kind of, like, he made his point. And I go in the bathroom, I wash my hands, and I had to make a choice. It was like, well, there's going to be nights where you're going to suck. Like, people are going to hate you. Yeah. And I came back the next week, and I'll never forget that. I mean, I've had nights where it's just gone so bad, you think that, you know, it would kill most people. Oh,
yeah, I know, but having someone, like, completely dump on you while they're having a whiz.
It's like, jeez, he's just trying to rid everything. I even want that beer gone after watching this guy. I want nothing in me from that last set. I'm just sitting there. I should have went in the stall is what I should have done, but I was frozen. I hate that when you go to the stall, there's a guy standing. What are you doing? Somebody may need that. Just wait.
Tell me your best, because you did some work on cruise liners, Carnival Cruise.
For Holland America.
What year are we going?
That was, God, it was horrible. That was 2010, I think.
2010-ish.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. I mean.
So are you leaving out of Seattle?
Out of anywhere that No, I never got to do this. I was hoping to get to do the Seattle one, because Seattle goes up to Alaska. I know. The dog is. Yes, the dog is.
How long have you been down there?
He is. He wants his.
Yeah, he loves
the showrunner. He brought me some water.
What are you growling?
The cruise ship. I got in. I luckily got in. I'm not going to get into the story how I got in, but basically they had been wanting to hire me for a little while, and then I had supposed management that was just screwing everything up. And then when the management and I split on a whim, I just let them know. Well, you know, I'm no longer under this man, and they went, oh, and they gave me like 9 weeks. Like, it was the weirdest thing. They go, you're no longer with them? Oh, good. Here's 9 weeks. I'm just like, are you kidding? Like, you know, that's a bunch of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's decent money each week.
And that you don't have to give anything to your agent because you don't have an agent anymore.
No, I have nothing. So they flew me to Boston, and I did the run. It was my favorite out of all the cruise stuff. It was my favorite run because it was from Boston, and you hit a different town all the way up, and you would go up, and you go up through, end in Montreal, you go to Quebec, I was in PEI, you're hitting all these, and then you come back down, and you go back up, and it took 2 weeks to do the whole thing, because you were 7 days up, 7 days back, and it was and you would get new people. Their cruise would end after the week.
Yeah,
So they would either end in Boston or in Montreal.
So then you're picking up people in
New
Montreal.
people, and you're coming back down. And anyway, so but the dynamics of the show, they have these beautiful showrooms that you would kill to perform in, but you're on a boat, and you're on a boat with like a few thousand people, and if they like you, it's great, because they'll see you having, they'll want to talk to you. But if they don't like you, it's like you're trying to play hide and seek, and you're against 3,000 people. Like, you're just trying to somehow get food when nobody else is around. It's horrible.
That would be
and there were many of those. Nice.
That would be a time when you'd really want to know. You'd want to have the right material, because there's no escape from the crowd.
Okay, here's an example why I didn't fit with cruises. We were going out of Tampa, and then we were going to Hawaii, and we were like, it's a long voyage to get, not long, but it's a few days, and then the captain decides he's going to go south a little bit to skirt this big storm, a major storm. And so I'm thinking, okay, cool. Well, no, we end up, the storm follows, and we go, now we're in a storm. And we're in a storm, and it's really rocking the boat. Like, the boat is just, I'm not exaggerating. There are sick bags everywhere. Like, they had them all over, because everybody, at least half of the passengers are in their room throwing up.
Like full sick bags?
Sick bags, no, just for people to get. And and so the dancers, the singer-dancer show, they had to cancel it because you can't have singing and dancing and all that going on with the boat rocking that much, because even the stuff like above where people can see.
If the boat is doing this, going to see someone dance is the last thing on my mind.
And they don't want any turned ankles, right? So this pain in the ass cruise director, just the worst. He was a really tall, really good looking fella, nice guy. He seemed nice, but he's just one of those smarmy asshole guys that. Anyway, so he sucked it up to everybody. He stole everybody's material, and he just made me sick watching him. But anyway, he knocks on my door. Hey, I need you. Like, you're getting a call. Can you do your show tonight? And I'm thinking this will give me. Now I'm sick because I'm seasick. I'm like losing it. I said, yeah, I think I can do it. I can do it tonight, because I didn't want to say no.
What time of year is this? Like, when?
This had to have happened. This one happened, I believe it would have been after Christmas, towards spring. Okay. It would have been in that area, like March-ish maybe. Okay. But anyway, I said I can do it. I'm really sick, but I'll do it. I didn't want to say no, because whatever the cruise directors send to main office, that's what happens. So if he doesn't like you, you're not going to get work. I guess it's a weird system. Anyway. So I get there and I'm throwing up, and then he brings me out, and I walk out, and I have to physically hold the stool. And it's literally like that scene in 1900 with the piano.
Who was in the crowd watching?
Maybe a third of the audience is in there, and all their husbands or wives are sick. So there's people still went to, damn it, they're going to see their show, and they're sitting there. And as I look out, all the empty seats have these empty sickness bags. Like, it was weird. Like, they're just in case you're going to throw up during the show. And I'm holding...
That's comforting for the comic up on stage.
Why? I'm holding onto the stool, and I'm going side to side, and I start feeling that, that watery feeling in your mouth, like I'm going to lose it. So I make it through the show, and a lot of sympathy laughs, and I get some soda water and some crackers, and I'm laying there. I took a couple of Tylenol. I'm just trying to get my shit. I got another show now. We have 2 shows. So I'm getting all ready, thinking, okay, I'm going to I'll be a little better. And this guy's an ass. So I'm standing back there waiting to go on, and I can hear the intro. And he comes back, and he says this to me. He goes, you know what you need to do? And now I've got 2 Filipino guys with me, too. One of them runs sound, one runs lights. Heaven forbid you run both. So you get 2. And they're sitting there. And then the stage manager, another little guy. And they liked me. I've been with them for a while. And then this guy's like, and I said, hey, hang on a second. I go, what do you do? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, all you cruise directors have some sort of talent that you, like, what do you do? He goes, I'm a singer. Oh. And he goes, I used to have a show. I used to be a guest entertainer. I had a show, which is bullshit, because if he was, he wouldn't be a cruise director. I mean, he'd still be working 2 nights a week, making way more money than the cruise director. Mm-hmm. So and this is when I knew my cruise career was over, because I said to him, I looked him right in the eye, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, when I start singing in my show, I'll ask you for advice. And he stared at me, and then I saw the little Filipino guys scatter. So they just all walked away like dead man. There's a dead man here, and they all walked away. And then he just kind of nodded, went out, brought me up, and I knew I just screwed. I'm not doing cruise ships anymore. And sure enough, they never hired me after that. It was like he sent some letter, and yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm older now. To do them now would be kind of fun, I think. Or, maybe even in 10 years to do them, then people my age will be on the ship.
Yeah.
But
That's
one night, the audience was so bad and so rude. Like, just old people. I love old people, but old people on a cruise are different than old people. And apparently, if you're on the cruises for a while, you become a regular member, like a maritime member. And so they know. They have a system down. These people know that, you know what? If we complain, we get free wine or they get things. Mm-hmm. They don't want to complain about the singers and the dancers.
It's like children.
Yeah, they don't want to complain because the singers and dancers, but they complain about the guest entertainers. So some of them would complain about the comedy show, and then they would get like, "Oh, we're very sorry," and they would get like wine or they would get something.
What?
Yeah, so that's fine. So one night, I'm doing great, and then I hear people complaining, and then I hear a couple of people complained, and then they said, "Well, we weren't at the show." So they complained about the show without being at the show, which is completely insane to me. So now I'm going to have comment cards against me from people that weren't even at the show. So that night, and I'm not proud of this, but you'll love it. I'm on my way to bed in my cabin. I look down, and all I can see is a sea of electric scooters going all the way down the hallway. And there, I unplugged every frickin' one of them. I don't know why I picked on them, but I just unplugged every frickin' screw you. You know what I mean? Walk to the Lido deck.
So they all.
I don't know what happened. I mean, they probably have security footage. That's why I don't work for them. But I'm just saying.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to do things.
That's
it wasn't the show. Uh-oh. It was the grounding of the. Anyway.
Well, we got like 3 minutes left here. Where's? No, it's fine. That's exactly what I wanted. But where's your next? When is the next time you're going to be up on stage in front of a mic?
I will be. Well, I'm sure
you do a lot of charity work. You do a lot of stuff. Maybe just talk about a couple of the charities that you're.
I mostly do. A lot of them were cancer benefits. Those ones I do, and I don't take money for those. Mm-hmm. And then, but the ones where I make money is for sports teams and organizations that want to raise money. I'll go in and they give me a small budget, and I hire buddies basically, and we go in and split the money and do the show. But a lot of it is is for things like mostly for families that are going through their cancer treatments and stuff. There's a lot of bills that happen, so it's nice to kind of be able to throw them a night where, because people want to help. Like if somebody gets diagnosed with something like that, usually there's all these friends and family that they want it. They don't know how to help. Mm-hmm. But when there's a show, they can all help. Yeah. They can I can sell this many tickets, and they really, it gives them something to do too.
Yeah.
And then you're giving prizes and you're giving things to the family and to the. And that's been the most rewarding, because you see it really does help people, and
trying to and succeeding at including as many people as you can.
Yeah.
So I mean, with the fundraiser, the comics are involved, the family's involved, the audience shows up, and everyone's on the same page.
Coworkers want to support them, but they don't. What do we do? Do you need anything? They say, oh, yeah, I'll get some buddies. I'll go to the show, because they know that money for that ticket is going to go. To the family, and it's a great time. The shows are always great.
Well, who would want to go into an auditorium or whatever the venue is with, in some cases, complete strangers, and just laugh so much that your ribs are sore?
Yeah.
I would I would do that every night if I could, and this is what I like about this show here. But just getting back to, I want to include everyone, like Nick, Wayne, Toby, William, Skinny on the Scoop is Sarah, Joe Desmond, Simon McGinnis. These individuals have had a hand. The first 4 names I've listed, Sarah Sampson, they have been with MattTv for since the beginning. I started off sitting on a couch
on Honey's couch
on a Friday night.
Was
on
it Honey's couch?
Yeah. So, well, this is my outlet right now, MattTv. But what you were saying early on about going to your first comedy show, and then all those years passed, but it was always there. MattTv has been here since Kaya was like 2.
Greg Scott. Greg Scott's out there watching. I did to Greg Scott one time at a hotel. We were on the road together in Saskatchewan, and he was in taking a nap or something, and I set up a table right outside so we couldn't get out his door, and I had the chess set up, and I waited, and then finally I hear him just knocking, he opens the door, and I'm right there ready to play. We used to play so much chess. Oh, that's great. Greg's a good guy.
Awesome. Welcome to the show. Yeah, everyone seems to say that it's frozen, but it's 7 o'clock on the dot. This is going to do it for me tonight. I really appreciate all the live views. I don't know if there were technical difficulties in your neck of the woods, but I'm going to post this up to my Facebook page, and you can watch it at your leisure. I might even throw it up on Facebook or YouTube. Okay. The only thing with YouTube, no problem, they're big on copyright, right?
Oh.
So if I upload this to YouTube, they may not allow it because the Canadian national anthem.
Oh, there's some American guy who wants royalties for that?
I don't know. Someone wants royalties. Someone's always wanting money, man. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Brand new show here tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 Eastern, 10 Atlantic, 10:30 in Newfoundland. No show Wednesday night, but back Thursday. Friday night might be a different schedule. Because of the time zones, I wouldn't mind going live maybe 7:15, which is like 11:45 in Newfoundland. But that way, we could actually welcome Canada Day in Newfoundland. We could stay on the air and do it in in the Atlantic provinces, in the Eastern time zone. So that's what I'm thinking. I'd like to bring in Canada's 150th birthday with you. So we'll talk about that later on this week. Enjoy your Monday night. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thanks for signing my flag. Thank you for signing the flag. I greatly appreciate it. And you never know, after Canada Day, I may send it back east just to fill it up even more. Enjoy your Tuesday. Be safe. My name is Matthew. This is MattTv. Now and always, from sea to sea. Bye.